are some of the most clever marketing techniques you've used in your career?
I often say that service to humanity is man's greatest work in life. We get back in direct proportion to what we give to the universe. But you got to give if you want to get. That's the law.
One of the things I learned years ago that was like, it became actually a go-to marketing trick or secret for me was using strategic alliances or joint ventures. I've talked about this probably in some other videos that we've done, but you can't overcover this. This one's big. And that is that there is some business out there that already has the customers as their customers that you're also trying to sell to, but that business is not competing with you. So they're in a different product or service or niche line, but they just target the same audience. And what I have found is if someone else already has that same audience and they already have a relationship with them, they've built the trust and they have the list, they have the access. If you can piggyback on that, then you can grow a business, acquire customers faster than almost anything else out there. If you're looking for like a shot in the arm in your business, a way to grow really, really fast, using strategic alliances or joint ventures, what I call marketing leverage, is one of the most powerful tools that you can use. I heard this years ago. I think the very first time I heard anyone talk about it was Jay Abraham. But one of my mentors actually taught me this, and we built an entire business model around this where we would go in and partner with franchise companies, chains, corporate chains, and trade associations to provide our product. And we even private labeled or co-branded that product and offered it to them. What this does, so like if you break it down to its fundamental pieces, what makes this work so well is that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust, right? And so whenever you're trying to build a new relationship with a prospect or a lead, you've got a lot of ground to cover. And I often say that people buy in layers, people learn in layers, and people also build trust in layers. So with every contact over time, you build up more and more and more trust, and especially if you're already providing a solution to someone. So if you think about one of those companies that might also be providing a product or service to the same target market you want to go after, but they're not competing with you, so you wouldn't be taking money out of their pocket by them making an introduction. If you can get them to endorse you or make an introduction to them, and there's another special component we'll talk about in a few moments, you get to bypass a lot of that heavy lifting and hard work that goes into building that initial relationship because they've already done it. They've already been mailing those people. They've already served those people. They've already met those people. They've already solved their problems. They've built trust and they've built a relationship. And you're getting to bypass all of that effort and piggyback on the back of that. I've heard Jay Abraham talked about host-beneficiary relationships or host-parasite relationships. Some people call them piggyback marketing, endorsements, strategic alliances. I look at it and call it marketing leverage for this reason, that if you're trying to move a big boulder, think about it. If you want to move a big boulder, you can go out there and you can push and struggle. You maybe get some other people to help you and you try to move that big boulder. Or you can take a long stick or board or something and get a piece, they call it, I think, a fulcrum or something is the technical term, but you get something and put it down. And we all played seesaw when we were kids, right? But you put that board over that thing and put it under the edge, and one person then has so much more power. Why? Because they're using that other thing as leverage. And so I look at strategic alliances, joint ventures, endorsements, those kind of things, piggyback marketing, as a fulcrum, as a lever that's going to let you cover a lot more ground, have a lot more success and results, get more customers, more leads, more prospects in the door much faster. What's interesting is if you think about using that in tandem with what we now call amplification, which means paid marketing as well, then you get sort of like this supercharged version of it. So imagine if you were to get somebody to endorse your product or service to their audience, but then you actually spent money on retargeting that person's name, that company's name, or maybe they were able to share their pixel with you so that you could put your ads in front of them, or they would email their entire list. You could go from 0 to 100 just like that, super fast. And so using those strategic alliances, using that is very powerful. Now, I mentioned there's going to be like a special little piece to this that makes it work even better. and that's this. And I've talked about this independently, but it's real important when you do a strategic alliance. And that is an irresistible offer. Having something that they think, man, I can't lose. There's no way for me to lose. There's no way for me to not benefit by taking advantage of this. I'd be stupid if I didn't take advantage of it. That's how you want people feeling. So I want to walk you through a real example. I had a client years ago. He was in the paper shredding and document shredding business. He wanted to grow, didn't have a ton of money for marketing, was looking for a way to grow. I was consulting with him at the time on how to add customers to his business. And I recommended this idea. I said, this is perfect for you because it's sort of a sophisticated sale that requires that you have a conversation. It's not like somebody's going to walk up and off the shelf buy document. Somebody might have x-rays, somebody else might have hard drives, someone else might have legal documents. So each scenario is different. You need a conversation. You need something to open the door. So what I recommended to him was that he look for businesses that were complementary but non-competitive to his, that he already had a relationship with a business owner. And at the time he said, well, I'm a member of a couple of clubs, local business clubs in the area. And I said, well, what I want you to do is sit down and write a list, go down that membership list and write a list of all the people in that club that you already have lunch with every Thursday or whatever, and write down the names of the ones that sell to the exact same customers or prospects or leads that you're wanting to sell to, but who don't sell what you sell, who are not competing with you. So he did that. And then I gave him a little script and showed him how to approach those people. And I said, I want you to take them out to lunch or a cup of coffee and say, hey, I've got some ideas. And I have a little script, and we'll talk about that as a front-end contracting process that I use for getting people to agree to sit down over a cup of coffee. But he sat down, he got the relationships, he followed my script. I wrote an endorsement letter from them endorsing his product, his company, and then making that irresistible offer. And the irresistible offer in his case was first month of shredding absolutely free, no strings attached, no long-term contract. He agreed to come out and put a bin for them to throw their stuff in their offices, no strings attached, service that, shred for them without any cost whatsoever. But the letter was written as if the other company that was endorsing him, that already had the relationship with the prospect, was as if they were doing them a favor. And it was written to the idea of, hey, you're a valued client to us, and we know that security, data, information is super important in this day and age. We're creating more of it than ever before. And you want to make sure that if information is either stored correctly or destroyed, you want to make sure that you're using a provider, a contractor that you can trust. We use for our company XYZ Services, and they've done an excellent job. I've known Andy for years. We're in a club together. We have lunch together once a week at our meetings. I know this guy. You can trust him. You can depend on him to be there. You can depend on him to do a great job. And as a special gift for saying thank you for being our customer, we have negotiated with Andy to give you a first month free service. And here's a little voucher. So again, think about in marketing, you want to track everything, right? In the digital space, that's easy. But in the old school days, or if you're offline, which a lot of B2B companies still have to market offline through trade shows, face-to-face contact, reps, things like that, then you want a way to track that. And so we did a little voucher that they had to turn in with their request to be able to get that first month of free service. Well, that gave him a way to track back what was working and to be able to either reward in some cases, or, and I'll tell you some of the ways I've done that, which is kind of cool, but to reward back that person, or at least be able to say thank you for sending us another client. So what he did was he got relationships built with three people. One was a bottled water company, one was a commercial furniture installation company, the other was a commercial flooring company. He got to talking to those guys, took them out to coffee, took them out to lunch, built the relationship, showed them the program, showed them the letter, said, I'll pay for the printing. All you need to do is provide the letterhead, or provide me, if you want to give me your printer's information, I'll even pay to have the letterhead printed. Most of them just said, hey, here's a ream of our letterhead. But provide the letterhead, I'll print it on our copier, I'll get it all ready. We'll have my guys package it up. I'll give it to you, and you can drop it in the mail. You can put your addresses on it, or however you want to distribute it. So what they ended up doing was, two of the companies mailed them out. The bottled water company inserted the letter with their statements. For 2 months in a row, they put the letter in with the statements. Everybody had to open their statement for their bottled water service. There was that letter and that voucher in there. The result was that we tripled the size of his business, 300% growth in his company in 90 days. Now, I know entrepreneurs out there that literally sit around conference tables saying, wouldn't it be nice if we could grow 10% this year? Wouldn't it be nice if we could grow 20% this year, 30% this year? In a year, we grew 300%, tripled the size of the business, number of accounts that he had in 90 days, 3 months. So does that strategy work? Absolutely. I've used it with ironworks companies, dental offices, chiropractors, realtors, consultants, retail operators, on and on and on. It doesn't fail. And some people say, well, that's kind of an old school off letter. No, it works in the digital space as good or better, because now what do we have? We have email. We have the ability to market on Facebook, do retargeting on Facebook, Google, YouTube, etc. So think about this. Imagine if you have a relationship with your customers that you do business with every day, and all of a sudden they see an email, they start seeing a video in front of them with you and maybe this person sitting there talking, introducing, maybe answering some questions, and then making that irresistible offer. It can work. We did a campaign several years ago. In a 48-hour period of time, we brought in over 5,000 new leads in 48 hours for a business doing nothing but this strategic alliance type of marketing leverage. So does it work? Absolutely. Does it work offline? It works offline. Does it work online? It works online. It works, it works, it works. It's one of the greatest marketing secrets or tricks or little tools in your toolbox that you'll ever learn. And you know what? In fact, I was thinking about this. Years ago, we put together like an entire training program on that. What I might try to do, and we'll see if maybe Jesse can hook us up with a link on the video or something later if we're able to get it. But at minimum, I think I've got some training or a webinar or something that we should be able to give away to people and give them a link for something they could go and get that would kind of jumpstart your success using this marketing strategy. But use it. It'll never fail you. And what I'd love to hear is, like, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or something, and you use that, put some comments down below and tell me how you plan to use it. What kind of business are you in? What questions do you have? I'd be glad to engage and answer questions with people. And certainly once it works for you, I'd love to hear feedback on how well it worked, and maybe we do a little case study or something like that.
Get more content plus free bonuses and resources at jpmaroney.com/VIP.